and thanks for staying with us. Customs impound goods worth 1.9 billion naira in Kaduna State. Also on Customs report, the CG speaks on activities of Nigerian Customs Service all over the country. Plus, more report. I am Igiseme Itinye. Stay tuned. The Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service has continued to engage stakeholders. Its engagement has continued to yield more fruit and generate more revenue for the nation. It was also at the National Assembly to define the working of the Nigerian Customs Service.
Projected is not released as we have seen in 2023. We are still coming to the same level. So I want you to maybe brief us a bit, and if you need the support of our members here, this committee is very tough with leaders that are here. And everybody knows the importance of sourcing fund instead of borrowing. And if we are having Nigerian Customs Service as one of the major sources of fund, I think the Senate, not even this committee alone, is interested in making sure that you succeed in this your projection very, very well. The second one is what our leaders talk about. These are our imported used vehicles. If you go to some of us that go to Kutonu area, I don't know what we can do to make a lot of money that Nigerians are supposed to make are just going to other countries. If there's a way of making this importation to come officially through our port, it will help us a lot.
Of course, you made mention of concession as well. I really want you to elaborate further this issue of revenue loss and the import duty exemption certificates and the concession as well. It's really key to us. We want to know in depth what's going on, why this. Well, you made mention of 2 trillion on concession alone.
The Customs Board, the CG responded to various questions as asked by members of the National Assembly on the way forward.
The exchange rate in computing our targets and that of vehicles. I think we need to put some clarity into the issue of vehicles. Distinguished Senator, what we said was that we have seen over the years that despite the fact that our borders were officially closed, at least in 2019, for almost 20 months, our borders were officially closed. And even when it was reopened, we still restricted the importation of certain goods from the port, from the borders. But despite that, we know that several vehicles have been imported, smuggled through these places. We see them in car marts, people drive them, and customs maintain checkpoints, and we stop them. And we always get, all these explanations that, oh, I didn't know it was smuggled and things like that. So what we are trying to do with this initiative is to grant some waivers to owners of such vehicles so that within that window that you talked about, once we get the approval, we could say for the next 3 months, if you are in possession of vehicles that are illegally imported to the country or that have not paid duties, you have this opportunity to go to a customs house and go for assessment and payment of duty. Of course, as you suggested, there will be massive publicity that would accompany such a policy so that those who find themselves in that situation can get their vehicles, can regularize the importation through payment of duties. The next issue, which was raised by you and my brother from Kogi, also has to do with the exchange rate. I am equally pained by the volatility in the exchange rate regime. In fact, even if it stays high and people can predict, that this is what it will take me to clear, perhaps it's not particularly too bad. But when, it's so volatile, today it is X, tomorrow it is X plus 10 or X plus 20, it does not make for adequate planning and things like that. So, correctly, it is the mandate of the Central Bank of Nigeria to fix the rate, either the one that we use under MTEV or the one that we use for importation or the one for payment of customs duty. So I have been in discussions with my minister, perhaps what we are going to advocate is that there would be a kind of a meeting point between authorities of government that are in charge of monetary policies and those that are in charge of fiscal policies. Personally, what I think we can do is to get a kind of a spot rate for a period of time. We can agree that maybe for Q1 2024, this will be the spot rate for the purpose of payment of customs duty. Or we could say for the first half, we define the period, and then we all agree that this will be the spot rate for payment of customs duty. But I must say, this is what I feel. And consultations are still in progress, but let me make it very, very clear, abundantly clear, that it is not customs that sets these rates. These rates are determined by authorities that are in the monetary policy. The rates are set, and they send it to us for implementation. But because we are also Nigerians, and we know that it is not just that people will find it difficult to pay, it will also affect the quantity, the quantum of cargo that is brought into the country. We showed you in 2023 that the cargo throughputs are reduced by as much as 30%. And some of the reasons for this was because of the exchange rate variance in the second half of 2023. Now, we also have the question regarding how we are going to be rewarding our officers. I can assure you that we have actually started. In the last quarter of the year, we actually identified some of our officers who did well, and special promotions were given to such officers. Reward may not necessarily be monetary. There could be a number of other ways in which we could reward our officers. I'm happy about the issue of local contents, which the distinguished senator raised. And I've always been very, very passionate about protecting what is ours in Nigeria. I believe that we have the capacity to grow the kind of rice that we need to feed Nigerians. Beyond rice, I believe that we must take very, very seriously the issue of food security. So our trade policy, our tariff policy, our fiscal policy must be such that they would be protective of this critical sector in Nigeria. But it's not just enough for us to reduce the tariff rates. It's not just enough for us to say we put a high tariff to protect those industries. So it has to be a careful mixture of all these policies. If you put tariff rates that are too high, it could begin to encourage smuggling, and then there will be non-compliance. We're just coming from the problems that we have with the banning of 43 items from accessing Forex in the last 3-4 years. And this distorted trade in Nigeria, because Nigerians are importing these items, but they are, declaring them wrongly. So our trade data, was distorted on account of this. We were not getting the revenue, and yet we are putting this kind of policy in place. Our revenue loss due to concession was explained. Maybe I think I would request DCG Tariff and Trade, once I finish, to give you further details on this particular issue. My distinguished senator from Osun, it's very interesting when you hear leaders calling other people leaders. So we wouldn't know. Okay, special leader. Okay. We appreciate the observations that you have made. Regarding the release of funds to implement our budget and what we are going to do differently, I'm happy to announce that we have actually started doing things differently with the level of engagement and the collaboration which the leadership of the committee has provided. The understanding that we also enjoy from this committee is also appreciated, and we'll continue to appreciate and rely on those understanding and support. One of the major things that you see, the difference that you see in this was the fact that the budget for 2023 was not approved for implementation until around May last year. So now we are in February. I remember that as far back as December, the chairman of the committee and the chairman of the House Committee, House of Representatives, have requested that we could actually finish this process before we went for Christmas. We were unable to do it in Christmas, and that's why, you know, as soon as we came back, consultations are started, and we are where we are. So I thank the Senate Committee chairman, and I want to plead that we will reciprocate this kind of understanding and support that we have from them. Okay, IDEC is from distinguished Senator Fadi, but then he also talked about engaged officially. I think the issue is about IDEC, and I think Senator Musa, DCJ Musa, we address it.
The voice of man, the voice of God.
I'm happy about the reference to the Nigeria Customs Service Act, which has made it easy for us to do a number of things. In terms of the group life insurance, well, we have made provisions for it now in 2024 budget, and I'm assuring you that we are going to implement it. We don't pray that our officers will be killed, but you know, we never know when such things happen. We would make adequate provisions for them.
The national president of Customs Wife Association has unveiled a vision of empowering women to fight against drug addicts and also create jobs in the country. The wife of the CJ of Customs seek the cooperation of all stakeholders for the program to scale through. The CJ wife commended the wife of Mr. President for her word towards the project.
On behalf of the Board of Trustees and Executive of the Nigeria Customs Officers Wives Association, COWA, we welcome you all to the relaunch of our association and NGO. This relaunch ceremony also offers us the opportunity to bring the activities of COWA to the fore, to perform the investiture of our new patrons and patronesses, and raise funds in support of our activities in support of the needy in our society. For the benefit of those who might not know us very well, please permit me to talk briefly about our association, COA. The Customs Officers Wives Association, COA, is a not-for-profit organization set up on the 13th August 2009 to promote the welfare of the families of customs officers and foster the bond of friendship, unity, and understanding among the wives of officers. As part of our mandate, we extend support to the widows and children of fallen customs officers and as well the less privileged people in the society. The members of COA are wives of serving officers from the rank of Assistant Superintendent of Customs, ASC2. COA is not just another association created for the sake of having one of such women's group. It was set up as an NGO to touch lives in meaningful and impactful manner. Our primary drive is to build relationships, partnerships, and friendships that support the nurturing of LD communities, to alleviate poverty, create jobs, and support the economic empowerment of our members through initiatives that promote prosperity and economic opportunities. Since we came on board, we have identified many challenges facing the families of customs officers. These challenges include lack of decent housing for customs officers serving in remote border areas with their family, lack of access to decent and affordable schools for the children of customs officers serving in remote areas, need to economically empower the spouses of customs officers across the country, and a compelling need to launch an effective campaign against drug abuse across customs barracks to protect our youth from the potential harm and danger associated with the consumption of illicit drugs. While we commend the federal government and the management of the Nigerian Customs Service for their unflinching commitment to the welfare of custom officers serving in various parts of the country, we are convinced that efforts and initiatives by well-meaning Nigerians to support the government in providing decent accommodation for customs officers and their families in remote border areas will go a long way in boosting the morale of these officers and enhancing the fight against smuggling. In light of this, and in the course of this year, COA plans to explore ways of supporting these categories of officers and their families in their areas of primary assignments. We can no longer close our eyes to see custom officers becoming tenants to smugglers in border communities.
On his part, the CG has this to say on the project.
Umbrella body of over 180 customs administrations, the World Customs Organization, WCO, recognizes the crucial role that women play in our society. This realization has been a driving force behind the push for gender equality and empowerment, which is now gaining momentum. COA. Okay. Under the leadership of the newly appointed Secretary General of the World Customs Organization, gender equality has been identified as a top priority. It is widely acknowledged that a more balanced and inclusive workforce leads to greater innovation, effectiveness, and sustainability. At the Nigeria Customs Service, we have wholeheartedly embraced this vision. We have made significant progress in achieving gender balance, with our women now holding very key leadership positions across various departments, special units, and commands. We remain steadfastly committed to gender equality, focusing on creating an environment where everyone, regardless of gender, can thrive and contribute to the best of their abilities.
You are watching the program Customs Report. The Federal Operation Unit Zone B has recorded 1.9 billion seizure from smugglers operating in the zone. You see that the unit recorded 27 seizures with a duty paid value of 1.9 billion naira between the month of January 2024 and February 16 this year. The controller stated this while speaking on the activities of the zone. The Customs Board says some of the seized items were already expired items which could endanger the life of Nigerians. He said that his operative intercepted seized
fight against smuggling, thereby making several seizures of 27 different items ranging from used foreign shoes, foreign parboiled rice, second-hand clothing, expired milk, juice powder, vehicles, among others. On Wednesday 24 January 2024 at about 2200 hours, the operator of the unit intercepted one truck conveying 179 bags of tiger nuts, 50 kg each, based on intelligence among Megatari Malampatori, Borneo exits of Jigawa State. Also on the 3rd February 2024, the operator of the units arrested 3 trucks along Gumel Kano Road in Jigawa State. The arrest was made following the information shared by the intelligence network of the Nigerian Customs Service headquarters, Abuja.
He said that his operative intercepted and seized 3 trucks along Kano Road in Jigawa State. He also said that the suspect arrested will be taken to court.
It is important to mention that the foreign date and the tiger nuts, by their nature, are edible and perishable goods, will be auctioned in line with the provisions of paragraph 15B of Schedule of Nigerian Customs Service Act number 32, 2023. These unprecedented seizures were made as a result of contravention of several sections of Nigerian Customs Service Act 2023 and breach of extant presidential directives on border closure. It is a fact that things are difficult for common men in this country. Despite this, smugglers are adding to the suffering of the citizens by smuggling these expired and unhealthy items that are injurious to health and well-being of the people. The unit is an enforcement arm of the service that will continue to arrest situations that may harm the citizens of this country. I want the general public to know that the personnel of the Nigerian Customs Service are Nigerians too, and we share in the pains at their critical time, at this critical time. However, the operators of the unit will not relent until smugglers are out of business. We will not be tied in our 24 hours and 7 days round-the-clock enforcement drive to suppress smuggling.
The Nigerian Customs Service in Cross River State has arrested a Cameroonian with a pistol with live ammunition loaded inside the gun. He was also arrested with 32 units of elephant tusk. The Customs Area Controller Ahmed Waziri stated that the intercepted consignment is valued at 300 million naira. So the suspects specialize in illegal exportation of elephant tusk outside the country.
About 12:55, while on official routine check at Umfum border station of Nigeria, Cameroon, one Honda SUV truck with registration number FST 733HH. Now the examination, a specially constructed big box was discovered at the tail of the vehicle, which was found to contain 52 units of elephant tusk of different sizes.
Just before we round up this week edition of the program Customs Report, we brought you a report where the Siege of Customs has continued to preach to members of the public on how the customs will generate more revenue for the nation and also fight against smuggling activities all over the nation. From me, Igiseme Etinye, thanks for watching.